This news update is brought to you by...
Say hello to Carol. Carol talks for a living, from morning till night. So she relies on Flo's crystal clear home phone service brought to her through Flo's 100% fiber to the home network. It keeps her in the know, and because she bundles her mobile broadband and TV services, she enjoys huge savings, so she can enjoy much more for much less. So visit any Flo retail outlet, call 1-800-804-2994, or visit discoverflow.co to find out more. One-of-a-kind connection. This is how we flow.
This is the Barbados Today afternoon news update for Friday, June 17th. Thank you for joining us. I am Marie-Claire Williams. Security at the District A Magistrates Court has been stepped up today following yesterday's gun incident. One man attempted to enter the court with a loaded gun, but police said he was stopped and questioned by a security guard. The firearm was discovered after the man was detained and searched following a struggle with security. Barbados Today's Fernella Wedderburn is at the court and has this report.
In stark contrast to yesterday, persons entering the District A Magistrates Court were being stopped at the gates and asked to state their business. Security guards were using security wands to conduct body checks, while handbags and other handheld items were also being searched. Some persons were turned back because they were inappropriately dressed. One woman could be heard clearly stating her displeasure at the increased scrutiny at the gates. Reporting from the courtyard of the District A Magistrates Court, Fernella Wedderburn, Barbados Today.
Meanwhile, attorney and opposition Senator Wilfred Abrams says yesterday's incident was the result of an inherent weakness in the security system.
I am pleased that they managed to stop him, but it highlights some inherent weaknesses in our security at the court. So while in the Supreme Court, the security scanning is at the court, so nobody can get into the court precincts and access prisoners with any weapons. In the magistrate's court, there's an inherent weakness because you can walk right up to the door of the court without being searched. It's lucky for us that the man happened to be wearing his short pants, because that's the only reason he was actually stopped at the gate. Had he been wearing a long pants, he would have gotten right up. But it's not just that. I mean, our magistrate's court, the security out there, it's a security risk. There's another weakness through the gate by Central Police Station, where if you're coming through to go to the police canteen, you can just walk straight through that gate without being searched once again.
Residents of the Valerie Brittons Hill community have been telling the police that they need more engagement with lawmen so that law and order can be maintained in their community. They raised their concerns when officers from the Royal Barbados Police Force held a walk through the community yesterday afternoon following several complaints from residents about the increasing firearms and drugs. Senior Superintendent Euclid Thompson says he has taken to heart some of the residents' concerns.
The police officer of this area, as I was telling the young man who was sitting there not long ago, it's not only about the arrests and charge and so on. It's about helping people understand that there is a better way in life. You can make use of your full potential by keeping out of crime. So when you're talking about, and we met a youngster who wants to be a police officer, and he's been spoken very well of in this society. We want our officers all across Barbados to recognize that it is important to, and I've heard this before, important to connect with people, to have a more friendly approach to people, because when we don't do this and then we expect information to come from people to help solve some of the issues of the day, it's not really forthcoming.
In sports, West Indies will host England in a 3-day, one-day international series from February to March next year. The teams will play the first 2 matches at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in Antigua, then will head to Barbados for the 3rd match at Kensington Oval. WICB's CEO Michael Muirhead said in a statement issued this morning that this is another opportunity to strengthen the team's performances in this format of the game as they aim to move up the rankings.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Get your paper. Only $2.25, $2.20. Who? For what? That's Bear Stare News. I don't read about that on Barbados Today since last night. That can't only do $2.20. Who?
Barbados Today. News you can trust.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Welcome back. In news from the region, Trinidad and Tobago says it is taking action to curb cybercrime and overall criminal activity in the Twin Island Republic. Attorney General Faris Alwari is promising a discussion in the coming weeks on certain cybercrime laws, and the statement comes on the heels of the release of several nude photos of women and girls recently. We get more in this report from TV6 News in Port of Spain.
Mr. Al-Rawi says there are many laws to deal with several issues plaguing the country, including cybercrime, but they're not being operationalized. Commenting on the leaked nude photos online of women and minors which are also reportedly being sold, the AG says the Computer Misuse Act under the Cybercrime Bill of 2014 and the common law in relation to crime are able to treat with the issue. However, he admits pieces of the puzzle are missing.
The last government left two very critical pieces of law just on the table. One is the Data Protection Act, which was passed since 2011, and which in Section 4, which is an area which concerns the private sector's management of data, was left without any operationalization. Very critical thing, nor were the penalties for breach of sensitive information put into effect.
He says this will be heavily debated over the coming weeks. On the issue of the overall crime situation, Al-Rawi says the government has a plan.
And that is to take the profit out of crime. The Piarco Airport. You're in court for what, 17, 18, 19 years? In the magistrates court still? So you can't forfeit any asset?
This is something he says the government plans to change through civil asset forfeiture. So if the accused can't explain how the assets in question were obtained, they will be seized.
Internationally, a 94-year-old former guard at the Auschwitz death camp has been sentenced to 5 years in prison. Reinhold Manning was convicted of being an accessory to the murder of at least 170,000 people. He was an SS guard at Auschwitz from 1942 to 1944. He has said he knew what was going on at the camp, but did not act to stop it. The Nazis killed more than 1 million people, mostly Jews, at Auschwitz in occupied southern Poland. The verdict came after a nearly 4-month-long trial in the western German city of Detmold. And finally, there were emotional scenes this morning at a memorial in West Yorkshire where the local MP Jo Cox was killed yesterday. We get more in this BBC report.
Our friend, our future. Not words normally used to describe a politician, but Jo Cox was no normal politician. She died living her dream, representing her people, her way.
She were all for people of this town and helping other people, not just from this town, but people around the world. And it's just comes to this, and it's just so sad. It's terrible. It's just sickening. Then poor kids this morning wake up without their mum.
People here are just beginning to try to comprehend how a super smart woman who believed in a better world came to die such a brutal death outside her local library. They say they don't know how to express their grief, their sadness, so they lay flowers.
We're all very shocked, and we feel like we want to do something, but we don't know what to do. That's the problem.
Jo Cox's colleagues came to pay their respects. Politicians not normally lost for words, overwhelmed by what happened here. Others are asking why.
I just don't understand how someone could get to that point where he felt that were his only option, and I just don't understand it.
That's the news this afternoon. Remember, there's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also tune into Channel 99 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM for more news. I am Maricla Williams. Good afternoon.